Yeah, so I'll tell you something that was very hard that the Lord took me through. I mentioned in my testimony video that the Lord had asked me to lay all of my clients down. So in 2018, around August, I think it was, I received a prophecy saying that God is going to change the way you do your day to day work by the end of the year. So after hearing that and it being someone that I trusted, I trusted her word, I started to seek the Lord about it. And God, what does that mean? What are you talking about? My first thought was that the Lord was going to take me into trading full time. At that time, I was trading, I was hearing God's voice in trades, I was making a lot of money. I was studying for my Series 65, and I had told the Lord I want to move financially sane into more investments. And I had begun to do that. So, in Him saying that I'm changing your day to day work, I'm thinking, okay, I will start moving more into that, less into accounting, finance, bookkeeping kind of stuff. So, I got the confirmation from God, yes, I want you to let all of your clients go. Now, when God said that, I think I must have had around 7 clients at that time. I was making 6 figures. So we're not talking about laying down $20,000, $50,000, $80,000 US dollars. It was more than that. And yet I still felt a peace about doing that. But all the while I'm thinking, okay, if I lay this down for God, we're going to make way more money than I'm making right now. So, okay, God, let's do it. I'm up for the adventure. So by the end of January, I had completely let everyone go. I had told them in 2018 by December 31st, I will be resigning. It took me through January to finish training like their new person and help with onboarding. So then at that point, I said, okay, Lord, what are we doing? And I told you all that God says, your full-time job will be spending it with me. I'm still thinking at this time that the Lord is going to be telling me what to trade. I'm kind of excited still. What door is going to open? What are we going to do? And the door never opened. So month after month, I am just seeking the Lord. I'm spending time with Him. I'm listening to so many sermons. I'm pressing in. I'm asking Him about all kinds of things. He wasn't telling me what to trade like I thought He was going to. And so because of that, I slowly stopped trading. Now, I had accumulated some savings and my bills didn't stop at all just because I was no longer getting a check, right? So I knew from my mentor that had taught me how to trade, whom I love so much. She passed last year, unfortunately. But she had told me, Angel, trading is 80% emotional. So whenever you find yourself in an emotional place and strain, it's best not to trade because you will make bad decisions. So me knowing that, I have no check coming in, and yet I still have all my bills. I need to use all of my money to make sure my bills get paid, right? I stopped trading. It was too much pressure. So month after month is passing, and I'm like, okay, God, you see my savings is going away. What are we doing? Still, God's not saying anything. Now, I have to tell you that when you're going through something like that, where you purposely take the initiative to do what God says do, it doesn't make sense in the natural. In my mind, I'm still thinking, Angel, you could pick up clients whenever you want because you didn't lose your skill set, right? But I knew that if I did that, I was disobeying what I knew God had put on my heart to do. So month after month is passing. All of my savings is going away. And I'm stressing. I'm not even a person that stresses a lot. I'm a person that is an entrepreneur. I love business. I love what I do. I am a single parent mom. I had my daughter at 17 years old. So I've always had this drive that I need to provide. I need to get the business. And people say a lot that they want to have their own business, but when you are your own boss and you have your own company, it is very stressful. There's no promise for your check for tomorrow. You have to stay on top of your job. You have to stay on top of your clients, on top of your own marketing, everything. So this is the energy of the person that God has now put in a situation where I still have my skill set, but you haven't freed me to go back to work. Now, I think a lot of people will listen to that and think, well, I would have just done it. But I had built myself and my relationship with the Lord in a place that I knew when He was speaking to me. And I reminded myself that obedience is better than sacrifice. So no matter what I was sacrificing for God, 6 figures, everything, the most important thing to Him is to be obedient. And I had to keep reminding myself of that. as this time is passing, now I'm starting to need help. I'm having to borrow money from my brother. My mother is helping out. Brandy is coming through. I cannot tell you all how that made me feel. I went from being the lender, not the borrower. I went from being a successful entrepreneur to now being someone that was like, I don't even know who I am. And now I need everybody to help me to get by. I told you all that my lease had ended, and I was praying and saying, God, what do I do about this lease? All the while I'm still thinking, you've got to be coming through with a miracle some kind of way. And then the Lord told me to be okay with moving in with your brother. So I'm like, do I have a choice but to be okay? You're still not telling me how I'm supposed to be making revenue. I have never in my life gone 9 months without getting a check. I started working when I was 14 years old. So I cannot paint for you all the picture of how I was feeling sitting in this place, trying to obey God, but rationally and in my natural mind, none of it making any sense. I continue to press through as other people are looking to me. And even my mother, I remember my mother coming back to me. And even when she would just look at me, she just couldn't understand why I was doing this. She said to me later, after all this is over, that she thought I had gotten on drugs. And I thought, wow, I haven't even been someone on drugs. And you know that I'm pressing into the Lord. Like, why would you think that? But I understand. And I say that because when God asks you to do something so bizarre and unnatural to who you are and what other people might think, you have got to make sure your relationship is in a place with Him that you continue to honor Him. Because the enemy will use anybody, the closest people to you, to distract you, to make you get out of the calling that God has for you. And hearing the things that people were saying, the way that they were looking at me, all of those things made it very difficult for me to continue to press through. No one knows that in my own natural mind, I am like, Angel, what are you doing? But in my spirit, I just had this peace. I knew I was doing what God asked me to do. So I say all of this and I share this because I don't want religion to make you think that everything is always so peachy and sweet when you're walking with God. But there's always purpose in everything that He asks you to do. Now, so the 9 months goes, the Lord releases me to pick up more clients. And then I told you all that within 6 to 8 weeks, He gave me back 180% of what I had let go of. I was even upset about that God released me back to the clients, because I said, so why did you even make me let go of them 9 months ago if you were going to turn around and say, go pick the clients up again? I love business. I love work. I love what I did. So I was okay with doing that kind of work again. I just thought surely there was like a miracle on the other side of this. And yes, there was a miracle in Him doubling my revenue, but this is just what my natural mind was thinking. Why let it go if we were going to turn around and pick it up again? But don't you know that after that period of time, and it being the roughest time of my life, maybe in my walk with the Lord, I realized how much I was acting like I was the provider. Now, even though before all of this happened, I felt like, God, I know that you're the provider. I know that you're the source of everything. But through it all, being an entrepreneur and having your own business, I didn't realize that, no, Angel, you're acting like you're the provider now. You're depending on your skill set. You're depending on your work habits. You're depending on your spirit of excellence to determine when you get a check and how much that check will be. And the Lord really began to show me that, like, I'm the one that gives you all of that. I'm the promoter. I'm the one that can take and give as quick as I like. God began to break so much materialism out of my life, so much pride. Now, I knew that I struggle with pride. I still do. But I had no idea that it was to the degree that God was showing me through this process. To think that you're always the lender and not the borrower, and that you shouldn't be taking from anyone, or that it's not okay for people to help you. Like, why is that a struggle? But it was. And the Lord really broke all of that in me. To be so materialistic and not be making proper financial decisions and just buying anything you want and nothing has a price tag. God was showing me, like, you see what you're doing with the blessings that I give you? Even as I prosper your business, you take your money and you do all these foolish things with it. God was really circumcising my heart and showing me who I really was, despite who I thought I was when I looked in the mirror. And that's who our God is. Everything that he takes you through is always about cleaning your heart, healing things in you, showing you like who you really are, and teaching you how to lean more to him. And through that process, I am like, wow, God, I did not know that I still had so much cleaning up to do, and still do. But even though that was the hardest season, I would never, ever take that back. I don't wish it on anyone, but I know that there are some people that God is taking that through right now. And I want you to know to stick through it. No matter how people look at you, no matter what they think, if you feel God's peace in it, roll with it, because in the end, he will make you so much better. And I know that had not God taken me through that, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. I may not have trusted him to move abroad by myself. And even just recently, one of my clients that I have, the contract ended. It was government. The contract ended. I was making from $500 to $6,500 a month with them for the last 2 years. That contract ends, and there goes that money, $5,000 to $6,000. And don't you know, I didn't even blink an eye at that. I mean, who doesn't want that? This is one client per month that I'm making this money with, but I didn't even think twice, because God had already taught me that he's the provider. And just as quick as that $5,000 or $6,000 goes, God can bring in 10 or 12. And even in that, it made me give more the month that I lost the money, because I wanted God to know I got the lesson that you taught me in 2019. I understand that you're my provider, and if it goes, it goes. You'll bring it back some kind of way, just like you already proved to me in the 6 to 8 weeks that you almost doubled what I had let go of. I look back on everything now, and I'm just like, sometimes I can't believe what God took me through. But I look up and I look in the mirror at who I am today, and I'm like, wow, thank you, God. So I say all of this to say we want to dispel the idea that it's always peachy with the Lord, but it's always better. God does everything that he does to us for a reason. And no, it's not easy to consciously make the decision. When God said, Angel, I want you to let your clients go, did I have to do it? No, I didn't have to. But I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I had my relationship in a place with him where I could trust him. And more than anything, I want to trust God and for him to know that I do. So be encouraged. Everything's not always easy, but everything is definitely better on the other side of it.